Hi there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Designs in Ontario, Canada. And today I thought I would just show you quickly how to create an envelope for a custom size card, or if you wanted something more fancy than say just a plain white envelope or a vanilla colored envelope. I have one of these. This one is the Stampin' Up! One, but We Are Memory Keepers also has them available. And, they're not inexpensive. So I am going to show you how to make an envelope using this, but I'm also going to show you how to make an envelope using a little formula, and it works every single time. Now, before I get started, I'm going to show you a couple of things because today, I believe, today is May 30th. So so this is the end of the Starter Kit special. It ends tomorrow. And in Canada, you can purchase $220 worth of product and only pay $135. And so for this $135, you can pick whatever you like to put in your kit, and you get some business supplies, including catalogs and things. And then some of my team who aren't really interested in doing a business typically hand their extra catalogs and stuff over to me because I can always use them, but hand them out to your friends. You never know, right? And you also get a free paper pumpkin. And in Ontario, there's no tax and no shipping for your first kit. So that's pretty special. And then any subsequent purchase that you make after that, you will earn 20%, you'll get a 20% discount as a demonstrator, and you also will earn 10% bonus points that you can redeem on your next order or save them up for a year and redeem them for a bigger order. Also coming up on Tuesday is a suite sale in all suite products. So you buy a suite and then get a second suite at 50% off. Or if that suite that you really like isn't complete, like say for instance, the ribbon is sold out, then they can't sell it as a suite. So they'll still be able to sell like the bundle part of it. So you could buy the parts of the one bundle and get parts of a second bundle at 50% off. And then you will pay for the more expensive bundle and get the second bundle at 50% off if it works that way. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little heads up on that. So let me go back to my main camera here. I just wanted to put that out there because I can't believe it's the end of the month. My husband said that to me this morning. I can't believe it's the end of May. And I'm like, no kidding, especially with how cold it is. I would really like some heat. I went for a bike ride, thus the flat hair, I got helmet head. I went for a bike ride this morning for about an hour, and it was cool. I had bike shorts on, but I'm glad I wore a sweatshirt because it was chilly. So I'm just going to show you what got me thinking about making handmade envelopes. See if I can find it here in the catalog. I was just looking in the catalog yesterday trying to make a list for the suite sale. And I was looking at, I was in suites. So let me have a quick look here. I should have marked the page and I didn't. So let me look it up. It is the Let me see if I can find. Ugh, I can't even find it. So, yeah, I can't find. I should have marked it, and I didn't. So, and I'm looking. Oh, you know what? It might have been online. I'm looking in the catalog under designer series paper, and the designer series paper is not even in there. So it must have been online. Sorry, my bad. So it's in the online exclusives. Oh no, here it is, right here. Honestly, so it's on page, if you want to see what I'm looking at, it's on page, let me go down to my desk, page 116. And I just noticed on here that these envelopes are made with the designer series paper. And I thought, oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? So I looked online. We have a bunch of resources as demonstrators, and online I could not find anywhere where they referenced how to do these envelopes. So I thought, well, okay, I'll take a look. And I did find a couple of really good resources. So I'm just going to turn off my phone because I know sure as heck once I get going, my phone will ding at me. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use this. So if you have an envelope punch, whether it be from We Are Memory Keepers, like this one is from We Are Memory Keepers, but it was made specifically for Stampin' Up. That's the colors. But the We Are Memory Keepers one, I believe, is white and turquoise. And so when I was playing around, looking, I've been cleaning out a bunch of stuff because I'm trying to get organized, which for me is a bad word. I'm not organized. But anyway, I found this card. Isn't this so stinking cute? I found this card that I made, I don't know, maybe last year. And it doesn't have an envelope. So I thought I'm going to make an envelope for this. So this is 4 by 5 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter by 5 and a half. Yep, 4 and a quarter by 5 and a half. So if you're looking at this, you're going to look at 4 and a quarter by 5 and a half. Now you probably can't see that, but right there it says 4 and a quarter by 5 and a half. And I need a piece of paper that is 8 by 8, and my score line is at 3.5. So I found this is a retired cardstock, this one. And I'm glad that I have these because I always make these whenever I get a cardstock so that I can, or not a cardstock, a DSP, so that I can see kind of what my offerings are at a glance rather than have to sort of shuffle through the package, which I don't really have a lot of patience, so that drives me a little bonkers. So you can see this one here has the right color. It's got the fresh freesia. And then also this one here has fresh freesia in it. But this one has the peach, which color is that? Mango Melody, which there's no Mango Melody on my card. So I'm going to use this one. So I have a piece that's 12 by 12 here. And I store my cardstock in these We Are Memory Keepers scrapbook things that I just got this on Amazon. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. And I think I have them listed, pretty sure I have them listed in my favorites things that are not Stampin' Up, but listed below. So you could have a look there. And if not, just go to Amazon and look up We Are Memory Keepers scrapbook page things and it'll come up. So what did I say? 4 and a quarter by 5 and a half. We need an 8 by 8. So I'm going to cut this at 8 by 8. So I'm going to cut my cardstock at 8 by 8. Eight by 8. Oops. Blade just fell off there. And it also says on here 8 by 8. Where am I? 8 by 8. My score line is going to be at 3.5. So the first thing I'm going to do is I haven't decided which side I'm going to use yet. Maybe this one because it's kind of fun. So I'm going to line this up at my memory today, 3.5. Okay. So I'm going to put this at 3.5 and I'm going to punch. And I'm going to take out my this little spatula comes with it. And there's a little nook in here. And you can see here that there is a, like a score line. So I'm just going to go right down that score line like that. And then I'm going to rotate it one turn. And now I'm going to line my score line up with this little finger. So I'm going to line this up like this. And I'm going to punch, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to travel down that score line. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to line up that little finger with this little score mark, punch it, and score. So last side. And there we go. So here is our piece for our envelope. And here are our little goodies. Now also in here, there is a little punch at the back here that will give you rounded corners. So I'm going to round all of my corners. I don't know if I typically would just do the top and the bottom, but what the heck, I have it, let's use it. So I'm just going to pop this in here, and you can see it's rounding the corners quite nicely. So pop that right in there. Got my little things here. So I said I had wanted to use the outside plaid for the front of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold these over. Like this. And this is going to cross over, these two sides are going to cross over like this. But what I don't like is this. Now this is personal preference, 100%. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but this is what I always do. So right where the two pieces meet, let me see if I can zoom in so you can see that. So right here where it meets, I'm going to put a little pencil mark, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Oops, I got pencil on my card. There. So let me grab my trimmer. And I've got this side folded flat. And I'm just going to line up my two pencil marks. And I've got this pushed right to the bottom so that it's square. So I've lined up my two pencil marks. Oh, my blade dropped on the floor here. Hold on. There. So let me line that back up again. So I'm just going to run my blade and pop off this little piece. So I'm just going to zoom back out a sec here. So now we can go ahead and put our envelope together. Now, one thing I do suggest is when you're folding this together, it might be an idea to put your card in, especially something that's as bulky as this one, because look at how bulky that is. It's a shaker card and there's a lot of height here. So what I want to do is just make sure that my card is going to be able to come in and out with ease. So I'm just leaving a little bit of space here. So I'm going to leave my card in there, and I'm going to take my glue. Try not to get it on your card. I'm just going to lay that over like that, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And lay this over like this. And so now you can see this is going to slide in and out pretty effortlessly, because that is a very thick card there. And so here, so you can see it's a little squishy, but I have a lot of room in there to put a thick card like this without too much effort. And then this can come down like this. And then what I typically do is I'll put tear and tape along here like this. And because I usually, like if I'm gifting a card and I haven't pulled off the carrier tape, like the carrier paper for this tape, I cut it so that it looks a little bit nicer. There, like that. Oh, I should have kept them sort of equal, but oh well. So here is the envelope. So if I'm going to gift this card, which I often gift cards to people, then all they have to do is pull off the carrier paper for the tear and tape. And then if you're doing, if you are gifting a card, I will take a label and just put the label right here. And then if you wanted to, you could cut some snowflakes and glue some snowflakes around if you wanted to. Just jazz up this envelope a little bit. But that's how simple that is using the We Are Memory Makers punch. Now I know that there are other companies who carry punches as well, not just We Are Memory Keepers. And they all have the directions. And this one also came with a sheet of laminated paper that looked just like this, but was in millimeters. So if you're metric, it also has that for you. So no, as I said, not every card is a standard card size. So the next card I have here, this was a card that was given to me. And this card is 6 by 4.5. So in order to create an envelope for that, I'm going to grab a ruler and I'm going to measure on the diagonal. So I'm going to measure from this corner. So you always measure obviously on the biggest size. So this is 7.5 inches from this corner to the diagonal corner. So 7.5. And you want to add 1 inch. So I need a piece of paper that is 8.5 square. Okay. So let's grab another piece of cardstock, or not cardstock, designer paper. Now this card is sparkly, so you could use like something really fancy if you wanted to. I'm just going to use, since this was given to me already, it's been signed by, you know, whoever gave it to me. It's not like a card that I'm going to be sending. So I'm just going to grab a piece of designer paper that doesn't match. It doesn't matter because I'm just showing you the technique. So I'm going to use this. This too is from the same Dandy Designs that I showed you earlier. So I need a piece that is 8.5 inches square. So let me cut a piece that is 8.5 inches square. Just move my camera here a little bit. Let me get myself out of the way. I'm just going to make myself a little smaller here. There. Okay, so I need a piece that's 8.5. So let me cut 8.5 by 8.5. And there we go. Okay, so I have my piece that's 8.5 by 8.5, and I'm using the grid lines on my glass mat, or if you have any kind of grid paper, you can use that too. So I'm going to just follow some lines on here so that I know that it's pretty, like, truly on the diagonal. So I have the darker lines here and here that I'm kind of following. Let me zoom out a little and see if that helps. So let me move up. So I have, so I'm following this darker line to this darker line, and then this darker line over here to make sure that it's on the diagonal. So I'm going to take my card and I'm going to lay it in the middle. So you want that centered. I just want to make sure I'm there. So you want that centered. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler here, and that's 3 inches from that side, and that's 3 inches, good eye, from that side. And then this is that's 3 5/8 from that side. So I need to come down a little bit. There. So, I mean, it certainly isn't rocket science. You don't have to have it perfect. But you know, the more centered, obviously, the better. But that looks pretty centered to me. I'm just going to wing it. So I'm going to fold this side up. Actually, I want the polka dots on the outside, so I'm going to flip it over. All right. So I'm going to fold up my flap here. And I'm going to do it loosely because I want to be able to get my card in and out of the envelope easily. And then I'm going to fold over. I'm just going to crease that with my nail. And you'll see why in a minute why I'm doing that. So I'm going to crease that with my nail, and then I'm going to fold this over again loosely. And same on the other side. Just fold that over like that. And there's our envelope. So you can see it's not 100% straight because my card is a little bit off. And I can fix that because I haven't creased this too much. I'll just shift this over a little. There, that's better. And then I'm going to crease here as well, and here as well. And then I'm going to fold the top over. And again, I'm doing it loosely because I want to be able to get my card in and out without any, you know, having to stand on my head. So same thing as I did before. I'm going to put a little pencil mark here and here because I want to give that a trim. Now, again, it's optional. You don't have to. You can also just do it with scissors. So I'm going to see how straight it can cut here. One tip I got when I started quilting was from one of my educators is don't watch where your scissors are, watch where your scissors are going, and that way you'll have a straighter cut. So when I had my scissors at this point, I wasn't looking at my scissor blade, I was looking at this point where I had the pencil mark. And then that way you're going to aim for that and you'll be straight. It's amazing how that works, but it does. All right, so here we have our little corners. And I'm just going to crease the little corner. I'm not necessarily going to crease the envelope quite yet, but I'm going to crease our little corners here. Like that. And here, because I'm creating that little arc that we're going to cut out. And then same on this side. I'm going to really crease that well. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to cut them out. You can probably see better from this side. So I'm going to cut them out from this side. So you can see all these little triangles. Let's get rid of those. So I'm just going to give that a little snip. So I'm going to do this again with a smaller card. You'll see this little formula works really for any kind of card. Like any size. I did one earlier using, you know how when you buy the ephemera packs and there's a big cardboard piece? I'll show you that in a minute. The big, what do you call that? That cardboard stuff. It's got a name, I can't think of it, but now I'm just going to round this here. Like this. Yeah, I can't think of the name. You know what you call, what did I do with it? I don't know. But that heavier card, there's a name for it, and for the life of me, I don't know what it's called. It's kind of heavier than what cereal boxes are made out of. But you get them in kits and ephemera packs and things like that. If you're just joining, don't forget to say hello and tell me where you're from. So I'm just rounding out these little corners here, like this, just so that it looks a little bit like nicer. And then I have a 1/2 inch quarter rounder here, and I'm just going to do the other 3 little corners. So this just slides into here like this. And you just give it a little punch and it just rounds off your corner. Like that. There. So there are our little rounded corners. So now I'm going to put my card back in. I'm just going to go this way. My card back in, and I'm going to fold up my sides. So I got my bottom and I have my two sides. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it loosely so that you know, you don't want it really, really snug. You want to be able to get your envelope in and out quickly, or your card, I mean. So I'm just going to put some glue there. And on this side, like that. Like, there we go. And there's your envelope. Isn't that cool? Super, super, super cool. When I saw this, I thought, why didn't I think of that? So there you have it, like another envelope. And again, this works for any size of card. So let's do a little card, and then you can see kind of what I'm talking about. So I have a little note card here. This is from the note card packages that you can buy. They're in the catalog. And so this one is 5 by 3.5. So let's measure it on the diagonal. And this one is just over 6 inches. So I'm going to say, it's not very straight. Let me just straighten it and see if that changes the dimension a little bit. So this one is 6 inches. So if you add an inch, that's 7. So I need a 7-inch square of designer series paper. And this time I'm going to use the Harvest Meadow. This is a great way to use up your retired designer paper. Oh, look at this one. I love this. Look at how pretty that is. This is like what color is that? Let me have a look. Soft Succulent, which is a retired color. But I always love this color. It's a really like muted, cloudy green. I just love it. All right. So I need a square that is 7 by 7. Because my card is 6 by 6. So don't forget, you always add an inch. So I'm going to go this way. 7 by 7. There. So I want this to be the front of my envelope. So I'm going to put it on an angle like this. Or do I want to? I have to figure out here. Oh, you know what? I think my script, we might have to use this side. I think my script is going to be on an angle. Yep. Darn. Well, that's a bummer. Oh, wrong one. My little card. Is that my little card? Yep, 3.5. Okay. So again, we're going to center this. I'm going to use this paper anyway, just because I love the color. So this needs to be centered. So let's line this up on a line so that I know that I'm on the right angle. And then this is going to line up in the center like this. And I'm just going to quickly see how close I am. So that's at 2.5. And that's at 2.25. So I need it to come over this way a little. So let's see. So that's at 2 3/8. And that's at 2 3/8. Okay, perfect. So hopefully that's pretty square. So I'm going to fold up the bottom. And actually this time I'm using the lines on my glass mat to help me straighten it out a little bit. So I'm going to fold this over like this. And again, I'm not pushing really hard to get it right at against the card, because you want to have a little bit of wiggle room in there. There, and I'm just going to put 2 little lines. Again, this is not super straight, and you know what, oddly I'm okay with that. There, I can just shuffle that over a little bit. I wasn't pushing over far enough, so that's good. So I'm just going to put a little mark here, a little mark here. And I'm just going to snip that off. So I've got my scissors at the one corner. And that doesn't look straight to me. So you know what? I'm going to measure it. So this one is like 1 inch. And this one's not quite 1 inch. So I'm just going to move this down to 1 inch. Like that. And I'm eyeballing the pencil mark. So I have a straight little corner there. And then this is going to go like this. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do now is I'm going to put my card back in. Like this. And I'm just going to crease where the edges of the card are. And I'm going to do the same thing where the sides are. So I'm going to crease where the edges of the card are. Same thing on this side. There. And so we can cut these little triangles out. So I'll just cut them out. There we go. So here is our envelope. So let's go ahead and put some glue here and here. Now I didn't round out my little corners this time because it's totally optional. So let's pop this card back in here. Now this card isn't very bulky, so I don't have to really worry about it too much, but I want to make sure that I'm going to have oodles of room. Just gently fold that over. And then here, I think for the top one, I will kind of curve this over a little bit. Just because I can. And then I've got my 1/2 inch corner rounder, and I'm just going to pop off make this a little bit rounder. There we go. And there we have our little envelope. Now I have made envelopes where this is longer than actually the card. Like if I was doing something small, like for a gift card or something, this actually hangs over the edge. Like if you're using a very small slimline card or whatever, you know, just feel free to trim it off right here where these 2 points meet. So we could do that with this one. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer, and I've got my 2 pencil marks, and I'm going to line them up in here. And there's my envelope. And then you can just put, what do I do with my tear and tape? You just put a little bit of tear and tape along either side here, like this. Like that. And then in the middle. And there you go. So here you have another little envelope. And again, you can just put a little label on the front. Let's just grab a label and put one on there. These are just the labels that I use to label my stamps and dies and whatever. And I always seem to have a couple at the bottom of the page. So there you have a little label. You can go ahead and write whoever it's going to. And you can create envelopes for any single size card that you need. And it's just right at your fingertips, and it's so easy. Aren't they great? So I hope this has helped you sort of think, you know, first of all, it's a great way to use up your designer paper, because you don't, I don't know about you, but I never seem to use it all up. So this is a great way to, you know, use up some of those supplies. And everybody loves to get a beautiful envelope in the mail, especially, you know, I think people just don't send mail as much as they should. I'm not 100% sure what the status is of the Canadian mail strike. I'm hoping it's not on, because I have a bunch of stuff I have to get out. But even, you know, when it's over, send out some cards. People love getting mail. So anyway, yeah. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little quick tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at lisa@crittersandink.com, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Thanks for joining me today. See you soon.